All right, we're live. We're a few minutes late, but we're going to begin the meditation with a short talk, and then we'll do a slightly longer meditation tonight. So if this is your first time meditating, good luck. We'll make sure you're sitting in a good spot. Uh, the topic tonight is just a pretty simple one, but there's a lot of nuance here, and it gets a little bit tricky when we start talking about it with meditation. So the general theme is, how do I know when I'm making progress? So this is the question of the week in the dojo: is how do I define progress? And there could be so many answers to this question. It really should be up to you. That's why we do the question of the week for you guys. This is not a question for me to answer, but I will talk about it tonight anyways. If you're judging progress by a lot of the ways that people have a tendency to judge progress, it's not going to work super well with meditation. Because meditation, first of all, while I would love to say that it's like very linear and you're obviously making progress and getting better and better, it doesn't always happen that way, and it certainly doesn't always feel that way. So I'll give you an example. When you first start to meditate, maybe in your first time doing it or the first couple of weeks, you'll start to get to a place where you start to get really calm, and in a meditation you'll have at least a couple of moments where you'll just sit and feel the breath, and everything else will disappear and it will feel like magic. It's like, I've never been this calm, I've never had such a quiet mind, it feels great. And then you'll keep going, and the better you get at meditation, the more you'll start to be aware of all the noise in your head. So then what happens very soon after that is you start to feel like you're actually getting worse at meditation. And it's like, why is this happening? I'm meditating more, I'm sitting still for longer, but my brain feels like I have more thoughts. It's a busier mind. So clearly I'm backsliding. I'm going backwards and getting worse at meditation. What's actually happening is your awareness is here, right? And this is like how many thoughts you have. And then this is how many thoughts you have. And then your awareness goes up, and then you realize, wait a minute, I have all these thoughts. Before, you didn't recognize the thoughts. You were kind of underneath the surface. And now you recognize all the thoughts, right? And then you're feeling like you're going backwards because of that, right? And then you realize that at some point you actually have this many thoughts, and your awareness goes up. And so you're always kind of recognizing more thoughts that have always been there. And so it always feels like this backwards trajectory for a while, at least. And the meditation goes up and down like this. So the point with that is, it feels like you're going backwards. And so if you judge progress by, like, how does my meditation feel? Or do I have fewer thoughts when I'm meditating? You're probably going to feel like, for a very long time or very often, like you're not making progress. It's the opposite of progress. So here's a way to think of progress in meditation. Progress in meditation is, did I sit today? Literally, did I sit still? That's progress, because yesterday you didn't do it, right? And maybe you've been meditating every day for a while, but you've only been doing it for 5 minutes. So what's progress? Now progress is, I'm sitting for 10 minutes. Now this is very measurable, and it's very obvious, it's very clear. So that's where we want to kind of try to bring our mindset when we're thinking about progress with meditation. It's not necessarily, is my meditation actually better? Now, it will get better, and you will be able to clear your mind and recognize those thoughts, and you will, throughout your day, recognize that you have a more calm mind. And this is another place that we can look at for progress in meditation, is not only does the meditation itself feel good, but how am I for the rest of my day? Am I more calm and peaceful? Am I able to go back to the breathing? Am I able to, be in the mindset that I want to be in? And that really should be happening with meditation. It should start to seep into everything else that you do. But let's talk about progress just kind of more in general. Like in a martial arts practice or in life, some things are very easily measurable and some things are not. So when we talk about progress, it can get really tempting to get attached to it looking like a certain way. And so I have a goal, that's where I'm trying to go to, and until I get all the way to that goal, I don't recognize any progress. This is a big problem, especially if you have big goals, right? So we want to be able to recognize small things, like in meditation, literally just sitting today. I'm trying to get my degree. It's like, did I show up to school? Great. I'm showing up to practice. It's not like, did I get my black belt today? No, I'm a failure in martial arts. Well, that's not going to work, especially here when it takes forever to get a black sash or a black belt. So it's really just, did I show up? Am I actually trying to practice a little bit on my own? And so this is what you want to think about in terms of measuring progress with so many things in life. It's like bite-sized chunks. And I talk about this all the time when we look at goals at the beginning of the year. And I use this story of this, there were, I think, a group of people who were climbing a mountain. Let's say that it was Everest, and we'll just say that it was 2 people. And they're going, and one guy falls down like a huge crack and breaks his leg. And so everyone else is like, he's dead, obviously. So they're like, we feel bad about this, but we don't want to die, so we're going to go home too, right? And so this guy is left with a broken leg on Mount Everest. It's freezing cold, and it's like getting dark out. So he's thinking, I got to get all the way back down there with my broken leg. It's impossible. I'm going to die. So then he thinks like, I'm going to do anything I can do to stay alive and to keep myself motivated to keep going. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to think about getting all the way to the base camp. I'm thinking, can I get from here to that rock over there? And so he just crawls over to that rock. And now he made that little step. And then he's like, okay, can I get to that tree over there? And then he crawls over and makes it to the tree. And he just does that all night long and eventually makes it all the way back to base camp. And he's, I'm sure, all frostbitten and messed up, but he made it. And so many of us get overwhelmed by these huge goals. If you think about like the whole mountain, and like it's impossible, right? You're never gonna make the whole mountain. It's like I'm sitting down at a buffet, and can I eat the entire thing in one sitting? No, I got to just take one bite at a time. So with your meditation tonight, we're going to do maybe a slightly longer meditation than normal. We're not going to expect to just nail a perfect meditation. And what you should do when you're meditating is break it down, not to the whole thing. Was the whole thing magical? It's this breath. Did I focus on this breath right now? And the answer is going to be yes or no. And look, honestly, you will probably more often than not fail that. I didn't focus on this breath. So you got to just let it go and then come back to the next one. So can I focus on this breath? And yes, great. Then move on to the next one. So each breath is really, I mean, this is life. What is life other than just a succession of moments and an opportunity to be in the present, focus on the breath or not? And if we zoom out wide and we're always looking at the big picture and we never see the moments, then we're not really meditating, we're not really making progress in that way. So progress can simply be, am I able to see things one moment at a time? Am I able to take one breath at a time? And then whatever else is going on in the day, you can just take this moment, this breath. It's all that matters. So we're going to practice that tonight. Sit comfortably. I'll go over the details of posture. So I always sit kneeling. You can sit cross-legged, or there are a couple of different ways to do it. But I'll suggest with this thing, you might want to turn it up on its side unless you have real flexible hips and knees. So it might be comfortable to sit on it that way, yeah. And then that'll give you a little bit more support, right? Now, we're going to be meditating for a little while, so if you need to move, just try to do it kind of quickly and quietly. So when we are meditating, you want your back to be straight, so we're not slouching. Your hands are here, palms up. They can be together or they can be separate, but we try not to let this slide down because then you're slouching and you're going to lose that good posture with your back. Your chin is parallel to the ground, so we're not looking up or down. We're just in a neutral position with the neck. The shoulders are rolled back and relaxed so that we're in a good kind of easy position to maintain. And close eyes. Your eyes are slightly upturned. to the point between your eyebrows. If this makes you cross your eyes, then you can just imagine that you're looking out at a spot in the distance. If you need to, you can actually open your eyes and look at a spot out in the distance that's above your head, and then you can close your eyes again, and that's going to help you just get a natural raised up position for your eyes. And we will start with some deep breathing. We'll do this together as a breathing exercise to begin. So we'll start with all the breath out. Breathe in through the nose. Hold it at the top for a few seconds. And out. Out can be through the nose or the mouth. And in, breathing from the belly. Hold. Out. In. Hold. Out. In. Hold. Out. One more deep breath in. Hold. Out. Go ahead and finish with a double exhale. And now just let it go. Let your breath come in by itself. Let your breath go out by itself. When your mind wanders, just gently bring it back to the breath. Try to do this without any judgment. So there's no self-judgment. There's no judgment of the meditation. It's just awareness of the breath. If you have a thought that keeps cropping up, you're getting attached to something specific, you can just label it by saying thought. Again, there's no judgment there. You're just recognizing the thought and letting it go. You need to do that many times throughout the meditation. Try to sit as still as possible. Whenever you move, it's kind of like resetting the meditation. So try to stay rock solid. If you find that your mind keeps wandering, then you can come back to the breath and you can just count breaths. Just count 10 seconds in, 10 seconds out. Do that for about 5 breaths. And then let go and go back to just feeling each breath. To do this, your mind starts to slow, your thoughts become fewer and fewer as you relax. Your breath starts to become slower and more relaxed. And just be here as an outside observer, just watching the breath. Let go of all thoughts, worries, and cares. Be here now.